for me, this is just a means to an end, as I said, where we literally haven't got wingers at the moment. Got 2 centre halves, so I think there's a lot of fixing that needs to be done with the squad for Liverpool to then return to a point over time where they start out shooting the opposition by twice as many shots again.
I think that's right, and it leads us nicely actually into this section of the show, because we want to talk about Semenyo, we want to talk about Marc Guehi, big rumours around that. There's also mention earlier today, /yesterday if you're watching this on YouTube, of whether Liverpool are interested in a midfielder as well. So I want to maybe
where did that come from?
Sky Sports Cava, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Is it Cava?
Cava Sonicol, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Okay. So we will talk Semenyo, we will talk Marc Guehi. I do have a Marc Guehi counter ready from the summer.
This is one we made earlier.
Unfortunately, do not have a Semenyo one because he wasn't in a red shirt until he wasn't. Okay. Liverpool playing the way that they're playing right now. Sign Semenyo kind of goes on to what you've just been saying, or goes hand in hand with what you've been saying, which is it's the long-term plan. It probably isn't to play these 3 narrow midfielders. Semenyo's a bit of a queen, if it were chess, where he could go anywhere in that sort of front line.
Yeah.
Marc Guehi's an interesting one for me. Where does he fit into this side right now?
I have looked at it so far this season, and my guess has been, if he had been available, as bad as Konate has been, I think he will have replaced Konate at times, absolutely. But I also think he'll have spent a fair bit of time at fullback, left or right, to be honest, because he's right-footed, but he's used to playing where Virgil plays on the left of the fence, and he's used to playing as part of a back 3 for Palace. Mm-hmm. He can progress the ball. In my opinion, he can progress it better than Kerkers can. I would say better than Bradley can, better than Frimpong can. And we've struggled with that a little bit. That's why Curtis Jones was doing it against Spurs. So I actually think Konate was good against Spurs. So let's say we signed Guehi tomorrow. I think there would be scope for him to start the next game as a right back, maybe. Given Frimpong's just back. Is Bradley injured?
Bradley's injured.
Szoboszlai suspended. I think there's scope for him to play over there, but ultimately he's a useful tool to have at the moment, Marc Guehi. I don't think he's that useful to the aerial stuff in the Premier League at the moment, because he's not very good in the air. But as just another defensive presence who wants to be behind the ball and can pass it forwards, he would help with the balance of the team, I think.
Would let's say it's a Bosley for now. Mo Salah's still at AFCON. We signed him January the 1st, whatever. Plays that weekend as it leads. Right. Is this the setup that you think Liverpool would go with? And how does it change build up? Obviously, we've spoken about Curtis Jones dropping in and Kerkers going forwards. Marc Guehi would in this case go forwards to take it, or does he do a little bit of that at times? What is it you're sort of thinking? How could you utilise him
in the current system that we're using? In the current system, I'm not sure. Purely because of how much emphasis is on the 2 fullbacks to be wide, with literally everyone else in the middle of the park. So if
let's say Semenyo's in as well.
Yeah, well, if Guehi is Matthias Nunes or Nico O'Reilly in that kind of setup, I'm not sure whether that would work particularly well. I view, if Marc Guehi does do full-back bits, I would view it a bit more of that, maybe, where you are creating like situational back threes and maybe you've got like, if we imagine that as Semenyo, I mean, Szoboszlai will stay in the team, but you know, if we imagine you could do like bits of that where Kerkers is part of your front line with Virtus on the inside, on the left, Szoboszlai's on the inside, on the right, and then you've got Semenyo doing the width. There you've got your back 3. and you've got a midfield two of whoever it is. Could be Gravenberch, could be McAllister, could be Jones.
And what we're currently doing right now is we're building up with a 3 and a 2. So it's very similar in terms of the numbers. It's a 3 and a 2.
Yeah. But one of the issues with the diamond pentagon thing that we've got going on at the moment is, I don't really think it suits Guehi, and I don't really think it suits Semenyo either. We haven't really seen what Semenyo is like in the middle of the park. We know him on the left or we know him on the right. Funnily enough, that's the same with Doku. Doku was a vintage wide player until Pep started using him in the middle, and he's been very dangerous since. Maybe Semenyo goes on a similar journey, but I think as Everton as it is right now, I think you could play with that, really. I think that if you look at that, there's no one who is in a position that they don't want to be in, actually thinking about it. Maybe you could argue Virgil wants to be the middle of the back three.
Yeah. Which, maybe if it was...
Yeah, you could swap it around.
Maybe if it was that...
Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. So Vert stays there, Frimpong goes up, and he trucks around, yeah. So that's the beauty of Semenyo, by the way. Semenyo can do both sides. I don't mind that, actually, Just come up with that on the fly there. It does work. It's a case of everyone... I like that Vert has got that space. He loves that space. Leverkusen space. I think Szoboszlai would be great there. Frimpong can do high wide bits. That's where he wants to be. Semenyo can do that as well. Gakpo could do bits there potentially. Salah could be there. Actually, Salah could be there in the one we've just done.
Yeah.
Salah couldn't be there in this one because it'd involve him being back, in defence. But yeah, there's lots of different solutions that you can play with, but to get to this where you've got solutions, you need to buy. And that's why I think I've been giving them a free pass until January, and I'd be very surprised if Liverpool don't do business in January. I think Liverpool should sign 2 players at least. But whether they will or not is another question.
So let's talk Semenyo then. For me, or for you, sorry, I should say, what profile is Antoine Semenyo, and what does he offer, and what makes him unique in that regard, if you at least think he is unique?
Well, he's a wide player for me. I've just spoke about the potential of following in Doku's footsteps and doing inside bits maybe, but so far at least, based on why Liverpool would be buying him, he's a wide player, and he's a very useful wide player because he's as good there as he is there, and that you can't say about many wingers. Wingers tend to have a preference. If you think of Salah, for example, is
it that two-footedness that helps him there?
Yeah, he's one of the most two-footed players in England, if not the most two-footed. Cherky's the most two-footed. I'll take that back. But Semenyo was right up there when it comes to getting shots off both feet. He can also go inside and he can go outside, and he can do that on the other side. So he's if you need wings, he's a very useful player for you because he can play either side, he can go either way, and he can shoot off either foot. That's a dream now when it comes to wingers. Very Sadio Mane for that reason. He's also really quick, he's really strong, he's good in the air, he works hard. So based on all of those bullet points, there's not a lot of negatives in there. The one problem you've got is, have you checked his numbers? Mm-hmm. He just looks quite ordinary.
It's been like 0.43, 0.45 goals and assists per 90 the last couple of years, hasn't it? Looked like he was making that leap earlier in the year, but it's kind of looks like it's reverted to type a little bit at the moment. But it's still the same.
Even like his dribbling, his carrying, shots, creation, things like that, he doesn't really leap off the page. He did leap off the page a bit more last season, fully enough, when Bournemouth leapt off the page a bit more last season because they had a better attack. I think he suffered on the back of
losing his mates.
Yeah, basically. I would also throw in there, I think he's a bit like Gakpo in the sense that he's got a really powerful shot on him, again off both feet. If you look at him over the course of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 seasons or something like that, he's overperforming in the Championship and the Premier League by 5.4 goals. and that's having underperformed in his first 3 seasons on the scene. So I don't know if he's a plus finisher, but he's maybe on his way, you could argue. This season he's scored 3 goals more than expected, to be fair, which probably will come down. But no, I think there's definitely a question with his numbers, and I'd be interested to see what those numbers look like playing for a dominant side like Liverpool. But profile-wise, skill set-wise, based on the eye test, I think he looks really good. And you could definitely argue that Liverpool haven't got that at the moment, even when Salah and Gakpo are fit.
I think one of the other things that makes it really interesting for me is, and I know, like, generally speaking, you're not a massive fan of this, but like the right-footed right winger sort of thing is interesting to me, because I think it's one of the ways you get the best out of a number 9. You know, that ability to drive there and cut it back for someone who's looking to get to the near post or making that run to the back stick or something is something that just interests me. But also being a genuine threat to blag that, cut inside, have the shot.
Well, that's why in this case I don't mind it at all, because you can say he's right-footed, and he is, but bottom line is he's just really 2-footed, so he can go either way. So I don't like
David Beckham.
Yeah, but I was going to use the example of Frimpong, funnily enough. I think when you use Frimpong there, and we saw it against Spurs, he does have this thing where he'll have the ball and he'll be creeping towards his man, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to go like that. It's just on repeat.
Did you like his assist against Spurs?
Well, I was going to say, he's good at doing it. He's good at doing it, and he's really quick. So he gets, even when they know it's coming, he still wins the race. But it's just a bit one-dimensional for me. Whereas with Semenyo, it's a bit more unpredictable, isn't it? And speaking of Jacob Murphy before, you could argue Semenyo on the right has Jacob Murphy qualities while being much better, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't mind it.
The last sort of topic of discussion, I'll see if I can find this tweet from, I think it was Sky Sports anyway, and it was, we'll see what they said, but it was a midfielder, and we had a conversation earlier on the podcast about what type of midfielder that could possibly be, because the last midfielder that he tried to sign was obviously Zubimendi, wasn't it? Proper midfielder, I think it's fair to say. Do you think he's looking for that type of a midfielder, or sort of following on from what you've been saying pretty much all season long, to be fair, Josh, about this idea that we're bought to play the low block, yada, yada, yada. Do you now think he's maybe looking at the league and gone, I might need to buy a bit of height and a bit of physicality and someone who's good at picking up second balls? Is it that type of a midfielder?
My guess would be, first of all, I'm surprised. If that's genuine and Liverpool wants a midfielder, I would be surprised. Purely because I think out of everywhere, that if you look at the Liverpool squad at the moment, the one place we are quite stacked is midfield for me. I mean, you're literally playing them all.
Oh, well, that's the problem.
At the moment, yeah.
That's the problem, Josh.
So maybe you lose Endo and you replace Endo with a body that you actually want to use. Maybe that's the thinking behind it. But generally, I think we have bigger needs at the moment than a midfielder. But if we did sign one, looking at the way that things have gone at the moment, I think it would be a midfielder who specialises in dictating. Someone with a passing range, someone who's good at build-up. Pretty much Zubimendi, to be fair. Because I think Gravenberch is really good, but I think his relatively basic passing range has been emphasised since Trent left. And since Kirk has replaced Robbo, we now don't get out the half as seamlessly. And I think we would if we had someone like a Busquets or something like that in there, or a Pirlo or Zubimendi or Rodri, you know, like a bit of a pass master. So I think Liverpool will have an interest in a deep lying passer as a profile. But who that is remains to be seen. I'm a big fan of Elliot Anderson, but he won't come cheap, and I'm not even sure he's that profile, to be fair. I think there's a lot of misconceptions around Adam Wharton, and what he is as a profile. But if we are after a midfielder, I'd have to do my own work and look at the rest of the market to see who we might be after. What do you think? What do you think?
I've got no idea. Genuinely, I've got no idea. I could totally see him
It can't be another 8.
No, it can't be. But I think if he signs someone, that Gravenberch may become more of an option up here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And really utilise what I think his best assets are, which is taking the ball on the half turn, dribbling in tight spaces, linking up well. I think Gravenberch has been absolutely exceptional. I think he could be better if you play him in the position that he probably suits more. And that's not a negative on what he's doing now or anything else. But there are better suited sort of players to that role, I think.
Yeah.
But equally, I could totally see that we don't have a big fucking tall, massive someone who's just going to win second balls all the time, and that's been a bit of an Achilles heel. I don't think you should buy for the short term. I think you should buy for the long term. I've always sort of thought that, which probably leads me more to the other type of midfielder.
I think a lot of people seeing that news would immediately think we want someone in the mould of a big horrible juice head or something. So I see a lot of people talk about Fabinho, reminisce about Fabinho, because he was horrible and he would put a foot in. But Fabinho could play, mate. Fabinho was a really good player.
But we are very short, very small, really shit at defending set pieces. So another big body would make sense.
No, I don't mind that, but I don't want someone to be... I don't want us to go and sign João Palhinha.
Yes.
Someone who is...
A dog that you play fetch with, and then he passes back to the owner to fucking play.
Exactly. I don't want us to go and sign a dog who is horrible to play against, but horrible to play with as well. Ugarte as well. Don't want us to go and do that. We don't need, a ball winner to that extent. But having someone who can win the ball and then play like Zubimendi would be nice. In deeper areas, but I don't think we need... I think if you think of Jones, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Wirtz, maybe if you're putting them as a midfielder, I think of them all as like on the edge of the final third. I don't picture any of them really like deep lying. That's one thing Fabinho was. Fabinho had no interest in being in the final third. He wanted to sit, and I think Liverpool would look at that kind of midfielder and think we've got a void there. Angelo Stiller is someone I'll throw in there as fitting of that type, but
his numbers are really good. His numbers
are great, but physically has the potential to get bullied in England. Not quick, not massive, not tiny either, but you got to consider all the stuff when it comes to signing players from like the Bundesliga. I mean, I think Wirtz has showcased bits of that at times.
That was a clip from the deep dive. To check out the whole show, head to redmenplus.com or click the link in the description.